All right, here's some extra practice on properties of exponents, okay? Practice on properties of exponents. Let me get a better pen. Okay? Before each problem, what I want you to do is just solve it. Do it on your own before I do it. And then after the problem, check and see if you did what I did. Okay? So here's one. It says 12x to the fourth, y to the negative fourth, z to the negative third, over 3x squared, y to the negative third, z to the fourth. Okay? Solve that one on your own. Pause it. Hopefully you're just coming back from pausing it. The thing that's frustrating about exponents, I think, is because it takes some thinking and it takes attention to detail, not skipping steps. Alright? So first I'm thinking, okay, I need to do 12 divided by 3. I know that part has to be done. Next I'm looking at my x's. I see these are dividing, so this is x to the 4 minus 1. I'm looking at y's. This is y to the negative 4 minus negative 3. And I'm looking at z's. This is z to the negative 3 minus 4. That's my thought process. A lot of you all aren't writing this out, but you got to be aware. That's what you should be thinking. So 12 divided by 3 is just 4. X to 4 minus 1 is 3. Negative 4 and positive 3 is negative 1. Negative 3 and negative 4 is negative 7. So here's what I get. But now very often they'll say, write this answer without exponents. So I do this, and I say, okay, I create an imaginary fraction bar, put this all over 1. Well, 4 is just 4, so it stays on top. X to the third is good because it has a positive exponent. Since this has a negative exponent, it means I move it. Y to the negative 1. Since this has an negative exponent, that means I move it. Z to the 7th, excuse me. Y to the first, z to the 7th. Here's my final answer without any negative exponents. So that's kind of something that you want to think about. All right? Let's do another one. Again, this next one will be, I want you to solve it. Then after you solve it, I want you to give me the answer with no negative exponents. So solve it, give me the answer with no negative exponents. It says 2x to the negative third power over 4x squared y to the 6th. Okay? You solve this all the way, then when you get your answer, rewrite it with no negative exponents. Pause and do that right now. Hopefully, you just did what I asked you to do. So first you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, let me deal with the top. Right? This is 2 to the 1 times, I'm not going to write it like that, and write 1 times negative 3. And this is x to the 1 times negative 3. That's all over 4x squared y to the 6th. Okay? So I have that. So I end up with 2 to the negative 3, x to the negative 3, 4x squared y to the 6th. Now I'm looking at this answer and I'm seeing I can do something with my x's. And I see that I have this negative 3 exponent. Okay? I don't want to deal with that in that way, okay? So I'm just going to move 2 to the negative 3 to the bottom because it had a negative exponent. So I just move that to the bottom. We still have a 4 on the bottom. X's I know how to deal with. This is x to the negative 3 minus 2, which equals negative 5. So down here, up here is an x to the negative 5. Okay? Remember, always when you're doing the subtraction, it's always above the fraction bar. And down here, I'm still left with a y to the 6th. So I get to this spot. Now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, I don't want this negative exponent. So let me go ahead and move it to the bottom. 2 to the third looks good. Times 4 looks good. Times y to the 6th looks good. I want to get rid of this x to the negative 5th, so I move it to the bottom. Nothing's left on top. So I put it over 1. Okay? So now I'm thinking, all right, well, 2 to the third is 8. So I have 1 over 8 times 4 times y to the 6th times x to the 5th. And I'm almost done. Thinking I get 1 times 32, y to the 6th, x to the 5th. Okay? So there's that problem. It takes lots of steps. I don't have any problem with writing out the steps. Okay? Don't skip steps. That's where you make mistakes. It's one of the big keys about exponents. That's your work for today. It wasn't too long. Hope you guys have a good night.